way you feel about everything is down to the pictures and words you put in your head. You see, when you have a brilliant brain, we all have an amazing brain, so we all have the same choice. You can rationalize why you feel so bad, or you can talk yourself out of it.
It's Jordan Mulligan from the Mulligan Brothers, and today's interview highlight is with Marisa Peer, talking about the blueprint to the brain, relationships, and positive thoughts. Today's interview is sponsored by mulliganbrothers.com, where you can now buy the Inspire Change t-shirts, all linked down below at mulliganbrothers.com. Before that, let's jump into the highlights.
My name is Marisa Peer. I come from the UK, and I've been a therapist my entire adult life, but I created my own brand of therapy called RTT, Rapid Transformational Therapy, because I wanted people to know that you can get help faster. Also created the I'm Enough movement. And I love what I do, and I'm on a mission to help people get better really quickly. In fact, last year we had our RTT go into over 500 schools in the UK, and it's just come to America. Something I created called Installing a Cheerleader, where instead of having a critic that goes, "Oh, you can't do that," we now have a cheerleader. So I'm all about making people feel good about themselves instead of feeling bad about themselves.
What were the early days like for yourself? Like, was this something that you was interested in straight away?
When I was going to be a school teacher, and I realized that I could be much better as a therapist, because teachers are often dealing with insecure kids, unhappy kids, bullied kids, but they just don't have the time to fix them. So I wanted to be a therapist working with children. And then I began that and realized that that's actually quite complicated, because often you have a mother and a father and the child as your client, and if they're divorced parents, they're on a different page. And then I realized that actually working with the adults that have the issues is better, because if I can get to adults, I can almost help them be better parents. So I always wanted to be a therapist. From the time I was like 18 or 19, I always wanted to do that. But you know, even doctors and scientists don't understand yet fully how the mind turns into our descriptions. If you think about something sad, your eyes fill up with tears. If you think about something embarrassing, you might blush. Think about something sexual, you can become very aroused. And if you think about food, your tummy rumbles. So every day we think a thought, and our body begins to make that thought real, which is fine when you think about eating lemons or having sex with somebody. But what happens is when you think a thought about failing or not being good enough or not being able to lose weight or having a terrible memory or being unable to speak to groups, you are actually making that thought real. And if only we were all taught every thought you think is a blueprint that your mind and body are working to make real, we think better blueprints. You know, you can all wake up and go, oh my God, today's a nightmare, I'm so stressed, I'm losing my mind. But that's a blueprint, and you have to change it. Of course you can have bad days, bad moments, but you have to pull back from that so it becomes not an everyday occurrence that you always think negative thoughts. And the easiest way to stop it is to just look at your language. You know, your words shape your reality. If you don't like your reality, changing your language is the fastest way to fix it. You see, when you have a brilliant brain, we all have an amazing brain, so we all have the same choice. You can rationalize why you feel so bad, or you can talk yourself out of it. It's not fair that this guy that I really like has dumped me. I'm never going to get over it. He's the only person in the world. Or you can go, you know what, everything you loved in me, it's still in me. You didn't pack it up when you left and go, by the way, when I leave, I'm taking everything with me that I ever loved about you. When a relationship ends, everything that person loved about you is still there. So now you have a choice. You don't want me anymore. Or you can go, well, we've just grown out of each other, but everything you loved in me, someone else will love in me too. So I don't think it's a type of person. I think it's a type of choice. Rationalize why you feel so bad, or talk yourself out of it. Because, you know, we do have a choice. We can all be negative or positive. We can go every day, oh, I hate my life, and, you know, COVID's made the world so miserable and I can't find the right job. Or you could say, no, I can do all of those things. You can choose being negative or positive, but you can't choose what it does to your body. If you could look inside into the inflammation, the cortisol, the stress hormones you make when you say things like, my job is killing me, this commute is killing me, this paperwork is driving me crazy, I'm dying under my taxes, you would never, ever even say it again, because it has such a negative effect on you. And it's like saying, I'm terrified, I'm excited, this is killing me, it's challenging me. I got an awful memory, got a great memory. If I look at a cake, I get fat, I got a fantastic metabolic rate. You can choose which one to say. And the thing about the mind is it doesn't know, and it certainly doesn't care if what you tell it is good or bad, true or false, right or wrong. So if you're going to say, if I look at a cake, I gain a pound, you might as well say, I've got a great metabolic rate, because whatever you tell your mind is probably going to become your reality. Underneath all of our issues, whether we're shoplifting or hoarding or eating or drinking, it's all to do with what people describe this emptiness inside. And if I'm empty inside, I need more. But if I'm enough, if I can go, I am enough, I'm absolutely enough, I don't need what I can get more. I can improve my relationship, improve my body. But I'm not coming from a space of lack. I'm coming from a space of, well, I'm enough. It's like people say, I'm looking for my other half, but you're not half. You're not a half of a person looking for someone to complete you. You're already a whole, complete person. You can find a great person and you can enhance your life, but don't come at it from, where's my other half? Who's going to complete me? I'm incomplete. You are complete and lovable and wonderful and amazing. And you don't need to be completed by having a baby or a partner or a career. But when you feel complete, you can have a baby and a partner and a career, because you're not coming at anything from a sense of lack, which again is the I'm enough is the opposite of I'm not enough. And it's like a ladder. You see, if you started off with a ladder and the first rung is I'm not enough, then the way you have to feel from that is a negative feeling. If you say I'm not enough, think, well, how would I feel? I'd feel sad. I'd feel defeated. I might feel pissed off, actually. I'd feel depressed. I'd feel helpless. And if you thought that thought and felt those feelings, how would you act? Well, you'd be defensive, probably. You might not take any risks. You might have inaction. I don't do anything. What's the point? I'm not enough. And if you went back to that ladder and took out the knot and said, I am enough, then how would you feel? You'd feel pretty good. You'd feel optimistic. You'd be a risk taker. You'd feel happy. You'd feel positive. You'd have a sense of certainty. It's all going to be okay because I'm enough. And then how would you behave? Well, you'd take action. You'd ask for that pay rise. You'd ask that person out. So it all goes back again to the thought. And your thoughts are yours to change. So when you look in the mirror and go, oh, I don't like my body. I don't like me. I don't like my voice. You have to stop all and then go, hey, I'm enough. Just the way I am, play that Barry White song in your head. I love you just the way you are, because it's true. Nobody can love you unless you can love you. And if you don't think you're worth it, how can someone else think it? So if you want a pay rise, a promotion, an amazing relationship, you don't have, it's not about changing your weight, your shape, your face and going out and looking. It's about changing your thoughts. Everything comes back to believing you're worth it. So the only thing you need to do ever to have love, including the love of yourself, is to believe you're worth it. When you know you're worth it, then you can go out and get it because you know you're worth it. But when you don't know you're worth it, you can go out and look for it, but you'll always reject it because you're coming from it with, I don't really think I'm worth it. Our words shape our reality, so pick your words carefully. And if you look at people living their best life, there's certain things I love it. I love having children. I love ironing. I love ironing because I think about how much I love it. I don't love ironing, but I know people say I love cooking, love cleaning, love ironing, love gardening. People who live their best life use the word love a lot. I love doing yoga. I love drinking water. I love meditating. You can make yourself love anything if you use the right language, and you can make yourself hate anything by going, well, I hate this. You know, it's a question of looking at the existing lies that we all tell ourselves every day. How I exhausted. I mean, starving, and that's a word. Nobody in our country has ever been starving. Nobody's ever been famished, because famished means you're in a famine. So we all do it. We might as well just do it in a more skillful way. Like Muhammad Ali said, and I love that, he said, I told myself I was the greatest before I ever was. And then something amazing happened. I became the greatest. So that's a great thing to look at. Muhammad Ali never said, I'm all right, me, I've good days, I'm not bad. He said, I am the greatest. I float like a butterfly and I sting like a bee. He said, but it wasn't even true. But when I said it, it became true. And so the premise of telling yourself a better lie states with the fact you're probably lying to yourself already. I'm just a big fat mess. Look at the state of me. I look like I've been dragged through a hedge backwards. Well, clearly that's a lie. So why not just have a better one? Because it will probably change your entire life.
Marisa Peer was one of my favorite people to interview and talk about positive thoughts, positive self-talk, and Blueprint to the Brain, I think, is an appropriate title for Marisa Peer. I am becoming so much more aware of the way I talk to myself and about myself, unconsciously somewhat. And I think we all do it. We all say horrible things about ourselves. So yeah, for me, she was amazing to talk to, and it has really made a difference for me. So I'm so thankful for Marisa's time. Hopefully we get to film her when we go out to the States at some point. Today's video was sponsored by MulliganBrothers.com, where you can buy the Inspire Change t-shirts. The new Not a Journal is out as well. And all Marisa's stuff as well is going to be linked down below. So without MulliganBrothers.com, this wouldn't be possible. Without Marisa's time, this wouldn't be possible. Please go show some love down below. Consider becoming a channel member. And if you want to see of what I get up to in my spare time, go follow me on Instagram at Jordan Mulligan Brother. Have a blessed and productive day, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.